Hello, friends. This is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. We are here on the moon, where we're about ready to leave the moon, presumably. I think I talked to all these people last time, so let me talk to Y'shtola to progress this quest. Returning home. Your excursion to the moon on the moon concluded. Y'shtola is keen to return to Etheirys. Y'shtola, with the Loporrits in Urianger's capable hands, we needn't worry about affairs here in our absence. Knowing now the face of their earthly collaborators, there is much to discuss with Fourchenault and the others. Let us return to the Tower of Babel. Our battle for the star will soon begin in earnest, and we must be prepared. I think it's already begun, but I get what you're saying. Okay, so where are we going? Thancred at the Nethergate. It's just a pet peeve, like when I hear people say... It's something you hear about Warcraft, especially, much more than this game. That the game really begins at max level. Like, no, it doesn't. I get what you're trying to say, but even that idea is wrong. Or at least it should be wrong in a good game. Proceed to the Nethergate. Alright, so we're back on Earth, on Etheirys. Y'shtola. I'd forgotten how cold it was here in Garlemald. Testament to the Loporrits' ingenuity that I felt no such discomfort on the moon. Yeah, nice job, Loporrits. Thancred. Gods, I can scarcely believe we went to the moon and back. But we'll have time to reflect on that later. Right now, we need to head back to Camp Broken Glass and deliver a thoroughly detailed report to Lucia. I'd like very much to know how everyone is getting on here as well. They'd only just begun to treat the tempered prisoners when we left. Thank you for the reminder. I'd forgotten that was, still kind of an active concern. Y'shtola, I share your curiosity, but warning our allies of the final days is of greater importance. I speak not only of the contingent, of course. The heads of state of every nation must know what we have learned. We know not when or where or in what manner the final days will begin to manifest, and so we must see that everyone is prepared. Thancred. Agreed, though we may wish to stress the importance of discretion, lest the public be sent into a panic. Not that anyone in a position of responsibility should need to be told as much, but it bears repeating. Anyway, first things first, to Camp Broken Glass. Yeah, this could cause a little bit of a panic, and I'm not, this isn't coming from, tinfoil hat Jones. This is coming from, the Warrior of Light. So it's a credible source. Maxima. Kokushu, at last you are returned. I am. Nice to see you again. How you doing, Lucia? Lucia. It's good to see you again, all again. No worse for your lunar adventure, I hope. Nope, no worse. Not much worse, anyway. We smell like carrots now. Thancred. We've done about what we can for now, and I believe we intend to believe me, we intend to tell you all about it. But before we do, might you tell us what's become of Garlemald in our absence? Okay, Lucia. We've succeeded in subduing the tempered inside the Tower of Babel. We took many alive, but combined with those who were already in our custody, the number requiring care has grown exponentially. Yeah, we've got to have a full-on hospital set up. The inclement conditions have made it difficult, if not impossible, to treat them all here, and so we have petitioned the aid of allied nations. Some are understandably hesitant to proffer assistance, particularly those that were but recently subject to imperial occupation. That said, several others have agreed to grant them refuge for treatment. That had to be a hard decision. With the assistance of your fellow scions, we endeavor to see them safely transported and subsequently cured of their tempering. Y'shtola. Will all the tempered be relocated? Lucia. No, not all, no. We have sufficient shelter to attend to those whose treatment has begun, and enough healers have volunteered to remain until their patients have recovered. Doing God's work. Euless is one such patient, though he is not yet fit to receive visitors. Truth be told, it was a miracle that he and those in his company were not harmed in the chaos. If not for Fourchenault and Alizé's timely assistance, I dare say none of them would be with us today. I'm glad that he's okay. Like, just not okay, but that he's not dead, so that we can get to see Ulysses' continued arc. I get the sense that his story isn't done. Thancred. In light of recent developments, have the Alliance leaders come to any decisions regarding Garlemald? That's like a longer-term question. Lucia. Given the tremendous ramifications of what has happened here, it will take time to determine what must be done. In the meantime, they intend to work with the Eastern Alliance to keep a close watch over the provinces. We have other news to share. Shortly after Anima was defeated, we received reports that each and every tower has vanished, yet no need for them anymore. For a mercy, the process was apparently not quite as violent as that you experienced in Thavnair. That's right, so like... Because if the tower just disappeared, that's a lot of people who just... A lot of tempered who just died by falling. Those who are trapped within them have been rescued and are receiving treatment. To hasten this endeavor, the beast tribes have received instructions in the magics needed to cure tempering. Yeah, it's a lot of their people there. Y'shtola. Master Matoy is no doubt thrilled the Mother Porksy affords her so many visitors. Oh my god, she must be so grumpy. Lucia. Yes, we are grateful for her ongoing efforts, as well as those of our comrades near and far. As for the contingent, several of our members have been granted leave to return to their homelands after the transfer of Tempered has been completed. Yeah, I mean, the contingent's mission is not over, but it was largely a success, right? Maxima. Lucia and I will remain, along with a small force to continue offering aid to those here in Garlemald. The Empire may be no more, but there are yet those who call these lands home. Yeah, you're one of them. Lucia. I believe that that accounts for recent events here. So, what of the moon and the Tolofroi? Well, buckle up, buckaroo. Yeah, this is... Like, the sheer amount of crap that we discovered on the moon is just mind-blowing. Lucia. The final days. Gods, I prayed your victory would mark the end of our troubles. I'm thinking of that moment from the trailer, from that reveal I guess from the reveal trailer. I know there was a trailer that came out since then that I have not seen. Like, there was a launch trailer, I know, that had, like, apparently had gameplay footage, but I did not see that. But the launch trailer where Urian J said... What was that? They were in what I now know to be Thavnair. Like, the respite given to the star was but fleeting. Yeah. Y'shtola. There is still much we do not know, but the Alliance leaders must be told. Would you be willing to contact them in our stead? Oh, good. I was kind of worried that we'd get, like... I don't know, like that we were about to run into a little bit of a pacing problem, like if we were just going to have to go talk to every Alliance leader individually. But yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. Lucia. Yes, of course. I will send word forthwith. We'll also release your fellow scions from their present duties so that they may return to Sharlayan. Your energies are better spent finding a means to avert the coming apocalypse. Maxima. Speaking of your fellow scions, you will be happy to hear that Mistress Kryl, though still on the mend, has been moved to the Baldessian Annex and given into Tataru's care. Excellent. Tataru's the kind of person who, even though she is not a doctor, I wouldn't be surprised if she'd be able to just kind of do a little bit of surgery and nursing on the side. Just, like, she's just able to pick it up pretty quick and do it pretty well. Y'shtola. Thank you. I look forward to seeing them both upon our return. Thancred. Let us be on our way, then. Maxima. One last thing, if I may. What do you got? After your confrontation with Zodiark, you said Zenos took his leave, and then, in all likelihood, he has returned here to Garlemald. I have a mind to dispatch scouts to try and ascertain his whereabouts, but first wish to ask if you believe there is merit in doing so. I don't think he has any care about Garlemald. I think there's nothing for him here. I really don't think it's worth it. Yeah, and if they did find him, like, what are you going to do? If they found him, they would not likely live to tell the tale. If you're expecting a trail of destruction to follow, you won't find one. An admirable but futile endeavor. I think it's the first. Like, it's not... I don't know what information you get out of it that you can actually act upon. Like, if you see him, great, but, like, I don't think it's worth putting out a hunting party for the hunter. Maxima, I suppose you're right. To dispatch good soldiers in pursuit of such a beast would be to send them to their deaths. Yeah, beast is right. Wasn't even what was his name? Valens von Varro? The villain in the Sorrows of Werlet storyline. Wasn't that what he called the person who was briefly turned into an overdrive of Zenos, that he said, you know, I can't use a beast like this? Maxima, pray forget I entertained the notion. No, it's a reasonable question, but yeah, I probably worth not doing that. While on the subject of Zenos, the 10th Legion has made an official proclamation. They denounce the Crown Prince and condemn his role in the Empire's downfall. His very title has become a source of shame among his former subjects, and its continued use only serves to hinder relations with foreign nations. So he's just Zenos now. Not like he'll care. He didn't want the prince title. For this reason, he has been declared as Zenos Viator Galvus, outcast and enemy of Garlemald. What was he? He was Zenos Ye Galvus. So now he's Zenos Viator Galvus. Okay. A little late, but... Well, it's a little late. Well, yeah, a little late. They couldn't have done it early. I mean, it was tough to do it earlier because he hadn't done anything, but the signs were there, at least from what I saw. But I get that it's not something you could reasonably foresee on the inside, especially given, like, the kind of person you're questioning. Y'shtola. Fandaniel is no more, and now his own people turn against him. It seems he's naught but his bloodlust to keep him company. His bloodlust and his memories of me. Maxima. Better than an army to see it sated. At any rate, I will not keep you longer. I pray you safe passage back to Sharlayan. Thank you, Maxima. What a good character, both these. Maxima. Once my countrymen have recovered, it falls to me to tell them what's become of Zenos and the Empire. I realize there is no kindness in withholding the truth, but it will wound them. Yeah, that's... Even those who didn't like him personally, like, it's the fact that it's the prince, like, it's the role, the betrayal of the role that's going to cause them pain, not personal love for Zenos. Lucy, I mean, there are some, but I think that's long gone. Like, we saw how much Asahi, like, adored Zenos, but I get the sense that, especially in recent days, that wasn't the case. Lucia, your findings will be relayed to the Alliance leaders word for word, and should we spy anything out of the ordinary here in Garlemald, all shall be informed at once. Are we going to tell Vritra? Because I feel like that's going to be a bigger help to us than the Alliance leaders knowing. So I hope we get the chance to tell Vritra about what happened. I think he'll have some shit to say. And what's her name? Tiamat. I think both of them would benefit. Anyway, back to Sharlayan. Last time I was here in Sharlayan, I don't think this quest was available. I don't think I was high enough level, or maybe I needed to have gone to the moon. But there's a quest here, the specimen that came from the moon. Northoda is looking decidedly smug. Good to see you, Kakushu. I've heard a great deal about your recent exploits, as has everyone else. That's why I feel confident recommending you for associate-level hunts. The challenge you face from here on out will be significantly tougher to contend with, but I wager you can handle them. You've yet to give me reason to believe otherwise. Associate specimens are not only more irritating, not only more threatening, but also, I don't know why I read that as irritating, but also more difficult to track down. You'll have to seek them out in the world's most inaccessible and inhospitable reaches. Like bloody Garlemald. Gods, I hate that place. Okay, so I wasn't sure if by when she said inhospitable and inaccessible regions, if she meant like the moon and Garlemald as general zones, or if she meant tough-to-reach regions in those zones, like deep in caves or places that are just hard to get to. It sounds like it's the former, though. Now, if Ilsabard's unfriendly north was our only problem, I'd simply remind you to strap on your furs and take some ale for the road, but, well, perhaps it's best if you ask Jaloskai what she's working on. There's nothing quite like hearing it straight from the Chocobo's mouth. Yeah, I will not be surprised if you tell me the moon. Jalakshai. Yes, I've heard it from here. If Northoda insists, I will tell you precisely what I'm dealing with at the moment. Let's look at this. Let's look at this request from Chrysiel, shall we? She's Sharlayan's sole xenobiologist. A self-proclaimed one, mind you, and it's her raison d'etre to prove that life exists upon stars other than our own. And stars in this case meaning, like, planets or heavenly bodies. Well, I have some news for her. The astronomers have long since banned her from their meetings and refused to make any request she makes on principle. But alas, we have no such luxury. She's been demanding samples from the moon for some time now, despite the obvious impossibility of acquiring them. Yeah, what a bizarre request. No way we'll be able to get to the moon. Associates hunts often present such challenges, ones with no ready solution. Though we gleaners pride ourselves on our resourcefulness, all we can do in such cases is post them on the board and hope for a miracle. Try telling that to the client, though. In any case, I would be thankful if you'd take a look at the board and try your hand at any bills that suit you. The guildship has high hopes for your success. No pressure, of course. No pressure. Okay. You're now permitted to take bills for associate hunts from guildship hunt boards found in Old Sharlayan and Razat Han. More will become available at 89. Okay. What's the hunt for the ages? Okay. So so there's associates, automated death machine, wanderers. So these are just other monsters in presumably a little bit higher level ones. Because I guess it feels was there this tier in like the heavens, in the even in the Shadowbringers and Stormblood areas? Because if I seem to remember, like, even in Shadowbringers, getting, like, the early level hunts and not being able to do that. Like, I wouldn't be able to just knock out the low-level hunts. Like, some of the low-level, like, the first tier of hunts would be higher level. I'm probably misremembering. I seem to remember getting, like, getting the initial level hunts that were sending me to the Tempest or something. Tataru and Kryl, I've missed you, Tataru. Oh, it's so good to see you, and free from chilblains, I take it? Chilblains must be frostbite? You'll be pleased to know everything's been kept in order since you've been away. I've even brought a few useful knickknacks with me from back home. But no sooner had they arrived than I received word of Kryl in poor health, and you on the moon. If you meant to give me a fright, then you succeeded. Yeah, sorry about that. Kryl, what's up? Welcome back, Kushu. We were so terribly worried about you. Though it is plain I've caused my own fair share of worry, and for that I apologize. Heidelin called to me that day when you entered the Tower of Babel. Her pleas were faint but desperate, and I knew at once. She required a vessel to carry out her will. I don't like seeing you as a puppet, Kryl. What came after feels like a dream barely remembered, my body flowing through the life stream toward Garlemald. When I regained consciousness, I was all aches and frostbite, exhausted of ether. So exhausted, in fact, that I could only laugh, for it was in that moment I understood Raha's weariness from the Tower of Zot. Would that I could laugh at a time like this. Though we prevented Zodiark from being unleashed upon the world, I am curious to know what else took place there on the moon. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Again, buckle up. Perhaps we should wait for the others to join us before you give your account. Let us reconvene in the main hall once they've arrived. Yeah, this is gonna... I'm glad this is off camera, because this could take a while. Alizé. Sorry to have kept you all waiting. Stola, not at all. We understand you've been quite busy. Kryl. Will Urianger be joining us? Yeah, alas, he's stuck farming carrots. Thancred. Duty keeps him away, I'm afraid, though Kakushu can explain why better than I. Yeah, way to foist it onto me, thanks. Alphino. The final days, as befell Amarot. Grahatia. And we are to escape via the moon? What of the source and its reflections? Yeah. If any... You're probably the only person who has more in this particular group who has more invested in the first than Thancred. Like, by a lot. Estinian. Well, not by a lot, it's just different. Estinian. I have no intention of standing by while the world falls to ruin. So how do we stop this? Ishtola. Unfortunately, we have no answers at present. If the celestial currents have grown stagnant, as was the case in the time of Amarot, the solution would be to alter the flow of ether throughout the entirety of the star. The ancients accomplished this by summoning zodiacs, sacrificing half the star's population in the doing, but it should go without saying that such a sacrifice cannot be repeated. I didn't even think of that. Summoning some kind of Zodiac 2.0 to stem the tide. I mean, if it came down to it, it's a better option. It's a better option than dying, everyone dying. It's a worse option than just getting on the moon and flying away. Which leaves us the daunting task of identifying the underlying catalyst for the final days, a feat which even the Amarotines could not accomplish. Unfortunately, we found no clues in Mare Lamentorum. I mean, there was that side quest with the Allegan decoding cube that could decode the whole Watcher's library, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Alphino. There is still much we do not know about the catastrophe itself, let alone what may have caused it. The final days were marked by the corruption of the Amarotines' creation magics, but we command no such power, which invites the question, what havoc is in store for us? Maybe it'll be a lesser havoc. Sort of like how... I feel like if it's something based on creation magic, maybe it'll be like an EMP going off, like a giant EMP. And when it went off around the Amarotines, it was like an EMP hitting a sci-fi futuristic electronic-based society, but around, where just everything falls to ruins and everything's amplified and terribly worse. But for us, it's like an EMP going off in Amish country, where it's just, we don't have the technology, and so it doesn't really affect us, but that seems too optimistic. If we knew that much, perhaps we could draw some parallel with the events of the past, and thereby form some semblance of a plan. Stola. Perhaps we should start with the Forum, then. Having worked with the Loporrits in secret all this time, there's surely more they can tell us. Yeah, seriously, that's a great point, because now we're in on the secret, and so, we should be on... Sharlayan should be on Team Scion, at least in theory. Tataru. Forgive the interruption, but I have urgent news. The Forum is holding a public assembly in the plaza outside. Some sort of announcement. Maybe time to board the shuttle, board the escape pods announcement. Excuse me. Alizé. What is Father up to now? Kryl. There's only one way to find out. I do wonder how our knowledge of the Loporrits is going to affect the Forum's view of us. Because this should bring down a lot of the barriers that were up between us.
Order, order, I say.
Barnier.
I thank you all for gathering here on such short notice.
I mean, at least I would have thought that to be the case, but there's this Ascian music playing in the background, so presumably this isn't going to be a smooth time of cooperation between us.
This day we must speak of grave affairs and their implications for the future of Sharlayan, nay, of this very star. Said affairs concern all citizens, and so we have called for a public assembly.
Yeah, rabble, rabble.
You may have heard rumors of the Loporrits and the havoc these madmen wreak abroad. Under normal circumstances, we would pay little heed to petty disturbances outside our borders. The final days, however, are another matter altogether.
So they're going public with this.
For we dare not ignore these prophetic words of Eld. The Endbearers will come, ushering chaos and calamity. The final days descend and devour the very star.
The Endbearers will come. And that's what Loporrit is Greek for, right? Something like that. Ushering chaos and calamity. Now, I don't know if the Loporrits are still at large, or if they all kind of went away with Van Daniel. I assume they're, like, I know they're still out there, but I don't know if they're just, like, remnants. Like, headless, mindless remnants just causing chaos, or if they're still an organized body working towards an end.
I've never heard this prophecy.
Is it true? Will all that really happen?
Calm yourselves. The time has come to speak of the Forum's most sacred duties. But first,
give us all your carrots. They're your tax. They're going to actually read the prophecy, or?
Give voice to the voiceless. Let bindings be unbound. By unanimous decree, I declare the enchantment broken.
Okay, so they'll be able to speak freely now.
Master Viator, if you would.
Very well. "270 years ago, our forebears began an expedition in the Dravanian hinterlands, in search of a route to access the ethereal sea.
Right.
This much is public knowledge. Their findings, however, would become the Forum's most closely guarded secret. What those researchers discovered in the hinterlands was not a passage unto the ethereal sea, but the very heart of our star, and Hydaelyn herself.
They discovered a passage into the heart of the star and into Hydaelyn herself. I have no idea what that means. I mean, I have no idea where... Do I know what that means? So Zodiark was in the moon. Does that mean Hydaelyn is, like, at the center? Like, are we going full Hollow Earth? Is Hydaelyn, like, down there, down at the core? Or they mean figuratively? Or like magically,
She
like an
spoke
extra
to them
dimension.
of a calamity that would extinguish all life, and of a means by which we might be spared. The moon. 'Tis in truth a gargantuan vessel built to serve as sanctuary for her children and deliver them from this doom. Much like Nunkref's hope in ages past, it will bear the people of a world in the throes of death to a new home.
And so if I remember from the side questing and sightseeing in Sharlayan, Nunkref's hope was the ark that brought them, that like saved them from the flood that they eventually came to over here, right? Something like that. So it makes sense that the moon as
Needless to
a
say, this will be no small undertaking. To facilitate the great work, the Forum has maintained close contact with the servants of Hydaelyn, who presently reside on the moon. Convinced that the foretold end was all but inevitable, we began amassing a wealth of knowledge, not merely for the betterment of our nation, but in preparation for the journey to come.
So that's what the Gleaner's job was about.
You reveal this to us now? By the gods, how long do we have?
It's a good question.
While we cannot say with certainty, we believe the hour to be nigh. We received a transmission from the moon suggesting as much not long ago.
The people are taking this from the moon, this people living on the moon thing, really well.
Which is why we must in earnest begin preparations for the great exodus.
I just wonder how the Forum is going to be, what their goal is going to be. Is it going to be just preserve Sharlayan? Or are they going to really try to get, like, everyone? I feel like they're going to go small.
For his impressive contributions and the leadership he demonstrated during our withdrawal from Dravania, we have elected Master Leveilleur to oversee this initiative.
Dickface McGee.
Fellow scribes and scholars, my countrymen, we face a threat of unprecedented scale. We must challenge the trials before us with composure and conviction if we are to find salvation. The wisdom of Sharlayan has ever been a shining beacon in the darkness, and so it shall continue to be. It is our solemn charge to see our heritage preserved for future generations. For those who will come after, we will brave a new frontier.
Again, all good things. It's just a question of what do you count as our heritage? Is it Sharlayan's heritage or is it Etheirys'? Hopefully he's thinking broader. He's thinking Etheirys, but it doesn't sound like a very Sharlayan thing to do. Or if he does think of the whole world as their heritage.
Administrative edicts will be relayed to all major institutions ere long. In the meantime, carry on with your duties. With that, I hereby call this assembly to a close.
Yeah, I was... Like, will they try to save the Garleans, for example? Like, do they want the Garleans on the ship? My guess is no. My guess is that they may try to get, like, some seeds from Garlemald or some, like, you know, museum pieces from Garlemald. But I don't think they're going to try to, like, bring all the Garleans on board the moon. Everyone's taking it... I don't know what I expected. Not like riot and panic in the streets, but still they're not... They're being fairly calm, at least, which is good. And not unreasonable, but it's good.
Do you remember what Mother told us when we visited home? That it wasn't until after we were born that Father seemed to lose himself in his work.
Trying to preserve you?
If that great work of his was the evacuation of this star, then...
Yes. It wasn't for his benefit.
Yeah.
Would you mind waiting here a moment? I wish to speak with Father before we leave.
No, go for it. Take your time, keep it civil. No, he's going to be civil. Take your time. Especially given this new knowledge.
Thank
I don't
you.
know if...
I shan't be long.
I don't know if it'll be as far as him being grateful, but I think it's going to be closer to that than
I have
angry.
a few choice words to share with Father as well.
So, come to call us cowards and bid us join your fruitless battle against the inevitable.
Nay, we do not object to the Forum's proposal. On the contrary, those who wish to flee have every right to do so. Urianger is cooperating with your associates on the moon to ensure that all is ready should evacuation be our only recourse.
He should be flabbergasted at this.
Then whatever your business, I suggest you be brief.
Yeah, again, the whole lack of flabbergast is a little bit weird. Even right now, even with a guy as reserved as this. Like, I would have thought he'd be like... He was expecting us to be like, wait, there aren't people on the moon. Instead, we're like, oh, yeah, we've been on the moon, we're friends with the Loporrits, and we're helping.
Though we cannot boast the boundless wisdom of Sharlayan, we have first-hand knowledge of foreign cultures, and have conversed with no small number of peoples. These experiences have taught us fundamental truths that cannot be recorded in any tome, nor charted on any map.
Yes, they can, but I see what you're saying.
The beating heart of this planet is its people, many of whom would give anything, even their lives, to protect the lands they love. Many may choose to join you in the end. But what of those unwilling or unable, for whom escape will never be an option? What would you have them do?
Yeah, it's true. Like, it's funny. The Sharlayans had the almost same basic mindset as the Loporrits, where they were afraid that any sort of disagreement was going to involve us that our disagreement with us wanting to stop the final days was tantamount to us trying to destroy Plan B as opposed to work parallel alongside the escape plan.
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, Father. It is indolence.
Get wrecked! Oh my god, that hurts.
This is why we choose to fight.
We'll not ask for your understanding, Father. Only that you don't turn a blind eye to the good we have done. That we can still do.
Yeah, we can still cooperate.
We're not children in need of protection. Hold fast to your principles and let the world burn if it please. But we believe there is still another way.
And again, it costs you nothing.
And if there is, we will find it. You see if we don't.
Do as you will. Just stay out of our way.
Hey, we're helping you. Urianger's helping you. Now say you're welcome, Fourchenault.
Were he not so consumed with self-righteousness, he might tell you how proud he is of you both.
Yes, yes, yes.
Bold words call for bold action. And there'll be no turning to your father should plans go awry.
As if I ever would. So long as there are those who wish to stay and fight for this star, we have to do what we can to help them.
And if we're to do that, we'll need to be well rested.
Let's go get some Raising Cane's. Let's go get some fried chicken.
And having triumphed over what we once thought to be the source of all evil, I can think of no one in greater need of at least a dozen winks.
Amen. Naps are great.
Shall we then? To the Annex. To prepare for tomorrow.
That was awesome. That was a great little segment. I'm really glad that we got to... I don't know, I'm just glad that this is out in the open. Secrets always bother me. And they say this as someone who is often a liar in real life. Like, who lies a lot and keeps secrets and stuff. Like, one of my least favorite things in games are plots where... And not least favorite as in they shouldn't be there. It's just, they're uncomfortable. Or when there are secrets between people who should be allies. And seeing that veil torn down now it makes me very happy. Even if they're not, like, on the same team at this point, or anything like that. Ojika Tsunjika. Kryle tells me the Forum made a rather momentous announcement, so there's to be a great exodus, is there? I'm reminded of my narrow escape from the Isle of Val that I haven't seen yet, because I haven't really done more than beyond halfway through Eureka. I'm, like, somewhere in the second zone at this point. Last I did it, like, a year ago. The realization, the running, the mixture of relief and regret after. Why me? I asked myself. Why me? Why us? Why now? Why wonder? There's no use fretting over the cosmic morality or lack thereof. We're here, and we'll get through this together. And who knows? Maybe my luck will rub off and grant everyone a narrow escape. There's no harm in praying for as much. But enough of my rambling. I'm sure you're exhausted. Your chamber awaits. Yeah, we'll rest up. Bup. Yeah, we were just there. Yeah, the visions of the final days, I guess. Or memories of the final days, depending on whether we're seeing our future or the end of Amarant. Was that a knock? I think it was a knock. A visitor has come knocking at your door. Whoever could it be? Alphino. I'm pretty sure it's none of these. I don't think it's any of these people. Let's go with Graha. Graha Tia? Oh, it actually is. It has to be one of those where, like,
apologies,
depending on...
I didn't mean to... If you could spare a moment before bed.
Are we doing this now? Okay. This has to be one of those things where, like, whoever you picked, that's who you have the conversation with. Just the sheer amount of names that they gave, that has to be that. Unless I just got super lucky.
Thank you. I fear this may be the last quiet night we have to talk for quite some time.
You're always welcome, Graha. Don't stand in the doorway.
I am troubled of late. Unwarranted concerns, perhaps. I hope. Nevertheless, I feel compelled to share them with you.
Okay.
Though you have bested your enemies thus far, Zenos and even Zodiac, your victories have come at a considerable cost to yourself.
Is his voice getting an echo of sorts? Is he an illusion?
No one is without their limits.
No, he's not.
And you are no exception. I worry the added weight of the final days will prove more than you can bear.
What's going on?
It is surely too much for any one woman.
I'm nervous. I really am nervous. I'm getting nervous right now. I'm getting, like... For anyone who's seen season 7 of Buffy, I'm getting, like... Shapeshifter. I don't think this is a shapeshifter, but that's the... I'm just afraid. No, I have to be... I don't want to be one of those people who's, like, is ambiguous about it. No, I'm worried this is a shapeshifter, that this is not actually Graha Tia, and someone's going to, like, go into scary form in a second. who's trying to, like, destroy my morale.
But you needn't bear it alone.
Okay, never mind.
Let me share your burden.
Okay, no. Yeah, he's just being friendly.
My, carrying capacity pales in comparison to yours, but I could still help. Shoulder the occasional satchel from your ever-growing mountain of, baggage. You have already done so much to help relieve me of mine own encumbrances. 'Tis only fair that I repay you in kind.
Now I'm getting nervous again. This is like... Again, I'm getting like Frodo, someone offering Frodo, like, I can help carry the ring for a while. Like, what do you... The echo, it's the voice echo. Maybe it's just...
Of course, it needn't be only troubles we share.
Okay.
Moments of joy may seem few and far between now, but there will come a time when we look back fondly on this journey.
And I apologize if this is just meant to be a purely sweet moment, because I'm paranoid.
The inquiry at the Forum, our march through the snows of Garlemald, our impromptu dinner in this very room. All of it. And that is to say nothing of the journeys yet to come. To the ends of the world and beyond.
It's this echo that is going into his voice whenever we scan outside the room. Whenever the camera pulls outside the room.
But tomorrow will be no less busy than today, and I've kept you from your rest long enough.
I think it's just the acoustics of the area, though. So again, I'm sorry if I'm focusing on the wrong things or anything, just sharing what's in my mind.
Sleep well, my friend.
Thank you, Graha. You too. Goodbye. Oh, he's so cheesy and he's so great. What a good character. Again, that was just over paranoia on my part. This game has been very good at quiet moments in Endwalker. A short while earlier in the Alamegan Quarter. Okay. Got a dapper red mage
Thank
there.
the gods
Was that my friend?
Tower is gone.
My student?
The sight of it was enough to make me sick.
Thank the Ilsebar contingent, more like. Word is, they fought their way into Garlemald and toppled the bloody thing themselves. Not just the one, neither. All the towers have up and vanished.
Yeah, they've got a lot of street cred at this point, the Elsebard contingent.
Aye, I heard the same. Commander Aldin and his troops helped keep casualties to a minimum, too. But is it true? They brought back tempered Garlean soldiers.
Yeah, that debate's still going on.
As Commander Aldin tells it, they've a treatment for that now. But don't you worry. Cured or not, they've no plans to bring them into the city proper.
Probably smartest if for everyone's safety.
I see. Well, that's a relief then. I know we've brothers and sisters among the lot, but I can't say I'm eager to welcome them home.
Who is this now?
Wanted to think about it for a while yet. But to be looked after in Alagana for the time being.
Okay. Who are you? That looked like Ascian smoke, but white. Is this like a Heidel Ascian? Meanwhile, in Ishgard, this is maybe. Oh God. Okay. I'm okay. Wait. Okay. I'm like, my heart is pounding right now. My knees are weak, arms are spaghetti, the whole thing.
Another day, another commission of paramount importance.
Erenville. I remember Erenville. I don't remember exactly from where, but I definitely know Erenville. Oh, Erenville was the person we met in the Labyrinthos,
What
right?
have we here?
Is this another Tempered? No?
Hey, are you all right?
Yeah, Erenville's a Gleaner, I think. Yeah, the Gleaner we quested with. This is...
Was that? No. The shadows play tricks, nothing more.
Yes, something more.
The towers are gone, and the Garlean threat is abated. And yet, why does it feel as though it's about to get much worse?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. I mean, I know why it's going to get much worse, but, like... I know the final days are, like, coming, but, like... Everything about this makes it feel like some things are getting much worse very, very quickly. Like, suddenly. Black spreading from... I don't remember what region that is. Is that Thavnir? Is that, like, now near Thavnir? Achievement higher. Okay. Well, now with my heart rate through the roof, I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching. I will see you later. This music is not helping things. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.